Tree structures are something that's going to show up a lot in your code. They're really common in computer science and in how programmers talk about the way computer languages work. So it's useful to learn a bit about the terminology of tree structures. A tree is made up of parts called the nodes or elements of the tree that have connections between them called branches. The HTML elements that you've seen are an example of this. But here's a different example. It's a tree that I made to list some things that are in my apartment. The nodes are the words in boxes. The branches are the arrows. This is saying that in my apartment there's a kitchen and a bathroom and a bedroom. And in each of those rooms there are some pieces of furniture, like a refrigerator in the kitchen and a bed in the bedroom. And in the refrigerator there's a cucumber and some yogurt. And in the bed there are pillows. Nodes of a tree have relationships between them. Here I'm drawing those with arrows, and they mean this is inside that. Like the pillows are in the bed, which is in the bedroom, which is in my apartment. A tree always has a root, which is the top or start of the tree. In the case of an HTML document, the HTML element is the root of the tree. The nodes that descend from any particular node are called its children. So the HTML element has the head and the body as its children. And the head node has the title as a child. And the body has a P element, and so on. We could also flip that around and say that this P element has a parent node, which is body. And this would still be the case if we had several paragraphs in this document. Each of those is a separate P node, and they all have the body as their parent. But a tree isn't a kind of diagram with boxes and arrows. It doesn't have to be written with the root at the top. It doesn't have to be written at all. A tree is a data structure. It's a way that information can be organized. How we write or draw that data structure is kind of secondary. Anytime you've ever written an outline, like for a paper in school, or made a presentation using bullet points inside slides, or classified things into categories that have subcategories, you were using a tree structure even if you didn't know it. And of course, every time you've written HTML, you're writing a tree structure too. So there are a few rules that are always true for tree structures. First, a tree starts with one node that is the root. Second, each node, including the root, can have references or branches that point to other nodes. Those other nodes are that node's children. Third, each node has exactly one parent, except for the root node, which has no parent. Though each node can have any number of branches going out, it only has one branch coming in. A new branch can never point to a node that's already in the tree. Another way of saying this is that each node other than the root has only one parent. And that's just about all the rules there are for trees. As you go on in computing, you'll find there are tree structures everywhere. The DOM, or Document Object Model, the tree structure of HTML, is just one of them. And this is what you're actually looking at when you look in the Elements tab on Developer Tools. Not the original HTML source code, but a version that's been reconstituted from the DOM tree. That's why it looks different from the original.